Hello there. If you're just joining us, this is the AM Show and you're welcome to our weekly business segment, AM Business. With customers unable to access their funds, the last round of revocation of license of savings and loans firms and finance houses has sparked a lot of debates among customers and stakeholders in the financial services sector. According to figures by the Finance Ministry, the cleanup of the banking sector is likely to cost 21 billion Ghana cedis by the end of the year. But would it have been money well spent? On today's AM Business, we give you a wrap of the banking sector cleanup and its impact so far.
I don't know what to do.
Shock, disbelief, confusion and anger as many Ghanaians woke up to news that their financial institutions will no longer operate. First was the UT and Capital banks that had their licenses revoked and their assets absorbed by GCB Bank. Then the consolidation of some 5 banks, Unibank, Royal Bank, Beige Bank, Sovereign Bank and the Construction Bank to form the Consolidated Bank. Then there was the revocation of licenses of Premium and Heritage Bank and of course the downgrade of GN Bank to savings and loan status.
The Bank of Ghana has revoked the banking licenses of Premium Bank Limited and Heritage Bank Limited with effect from the date of this notice and has appointed Mr. Vish Ashiabo of PricewaterhouseCoopers as receiver for the 2 banks. Complete details of the basis on which the licenses of the 2 banks have been revoked will be attached to this press release. Among other things, Premium Bank was found to be insolvent as of 30th November 2018 with a capital adequacy ratio of negative 125.62%. Heritage Bank, among other things, obtained its banking license on 4th October 2016 on the basis of capital with questionable sources. Furthermore, the bank was unable to meet the new minimum capital requirement of 400 as of 31st December 2018. The Bank of Ghana has approved a purchase and assumption agreement between the receiver and Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited, under which the receiver has transferred some assets and liabilities of the 2 banks to CBG. All deposits, current, savings, fixed deposit accounts of the 2 banks have been transferred to Consolidated Bank with effect from the date of this notice.
From threats of demonstrations to several petitions, both customers and workers of the defunct banks registered their concerns on their locked-up funds and job losses. But the Bank of Ghana explained the move was necessary to sanitize and strengthen the banking sector.
The Minimum Capital Directive was part of regulatory measures that were aimed at strengthening the banking sector to make it more resilient to shocks, as well as to help position the banks to better support the growing needs of the Ghanaian economy. It was also the expectation of the Bank of Ghana that the recapitalization exercise would help promote consolidation in the banking industry through sustainable mergers and acquisitions, along with stronger corporate governance structures and risk management systems and practices. Following the recapitalization exercise that has just ended at the end of December 2018, we now have 23 universal banks operating in Ghana. These banks have all met the new minimum paid-up capital of 400 million Ghana cedis.
But despite the assurances, some customers are yet to receive their locked-up funds.
I
was facing some financial challenges, so I decided to go to my bank to get my money. When I went there, they told me the payment time was not due, so I should go and come back. I went and came back some days later, and they had nothing to tell me. They went back and forth, and they came to tell me there was no money. Things have been very difficult since I don't have enough money. Similarly, several staff of the defunct banks that were laid off without the required several packages are still struggling to stand on their feet, a year after the licenses of the institutions were revoked.
All of a sudden, we had the news that the bank has been consolidated with other banks, other 4 banks. So some of the workers, for me, I'm a contract staff, so we were to be laid off while some of the staffs were being maintained there. Yeah. So I think they never give us anything per se. They only gave us our salaries that they were owing us.
Okay, so since you went off, what have you now been engaging yourself in? Were you able to find another job? What have you been doing?
I applied a job which was a NAPCO. Yeah, so currently I'm with the NAPCO as a trainee. With the NAPCO.
And how is that also going for you?
You know, it's not easy. Even though the government is trying, but it's been challenging because some of our real salaries don't come on time. Like I'm saying now, up to date, we don't have our July salary. Even though some regions have been paid, but for Accra, it's never like that.
It has been tough. We are just there and then just trying to do something. Okay, now I'm trying to repair laptops and then phones for the meantime while I search for a job. So that's what I've been doing.
And does that pay off enough?
It is not enough, but what can you do? You're at home, so you just need to do something that will earn you money. Then just trust and put your hopes on God.
But the chaos was far from over. In May 2019, the Bank of Ghana revoked the license of 386 insolvent microfinance and microcredit companies. Then on Friday, 16th of August 2019, the Bank of Ghana in a statement revoked the license of a total of 23 savings and loans companies and finance houses.
So this journey began, which started with the revocation of licenses of 2 banks in 2017. In total, 9 banks had their licenses revoked. And then followed up with the microfinance institutions early this year. And then this is the last set, which is for the savings and loans and the finance house subsectors.
Let's start.
We had the revocation of licenses of 23 savings and loans institutions. The receiver moved in, and we have men across the 503 or so branches across the country. What would happen is that on Friday we locked up the places, engaged the employees, explained the processes to them, and on Monday we would go in there and work with these employees to go into the books, locate the books, find out what is in the books, and basically begin the process of running the institution.
The announcement sent hundreds of customers thronging to their various financial institutions demanding their funds.
We heard the announcement, so we have to rush here to see what's happening. Unfortunately, when it came here, they've locked the banking hall with the excuse that the government said it should lock it up because of the insolvent issue. But as I now have my investment over here.
How much is
over 200, and that's 20,000 Ghana cedis investment. And that made me to rush here to see how far.
I have not got any better news from them. They told us to be keeping waiting. So it's capital unfortunate. Oh, so what are we to do is no member has come to inform us better food. This is what we are standing for.
So you're here to get your money?
I'm here for my money.
They only me 700.
Okay.
They started insurance, savings and insurance, and I have some in the insurance, and I have some savings and insurance, okay. Both. And maybe it can be more than that, but okay. I remember I quite remember 700, but maybe it can be more than that. Yes, it will be more than that.
And now that we are learning that their license has been revoked, what happens to your 700 cedis and more?
I don't know what to do.
However, receivers of the defunct institutions have called for calm, explaining measures are in place for customers to receive their locked up cash.
As you would basically expect, most the depositors will rush in to come and see where their deposits are. And we've put in place measures to ensure that proof of debt forms are available. That would require each depositor to give us some basic information, your name, your contact details, how much you think is in there, your mode of payment if you want to expect payment or if you can get payment, etc., etc. Quite a detailed form, and would expect that they fill these and then return them to us, which I'm hoping can be done this week. And then we would start the validation. And I'm not saying that we'll start the validation after everybody has submitted. Once a form is submitted, we will deal with that form and so on and so forth.
But just before the dust settles, the Bank of Ghana has dropped another statement announcing a revision of the minimum capital requirement for rural community banks and microfinance institutions to 1 million and 2 million Ghana cedis respectively. Head of ARP Apex Bank, the regulator of the rural bank, explains what impact this could have on the industry.
115 of the rural banks have met the requirement. The ones that have not been able to, the shareholders are doing everything possible. Some of them are going through major processes. I know 4 banks in Brong and Ahafo regions have concluded the processes to merge. And I know the banks in Oti are also starting discussions to merge. Some of the bigger rural and community banks are thinking of investing in their sister banks that may be having the capital requirement needs, and to invest in them. We have one story like that, which was done by Fiasiman Rural Bank, and they have invested in Triful Rural Bank, and it is working beautifully. And it's a model that we have sold to the bigger and stronger rural and community banks, because we believe that together and a strong industry, it is good for everybody.
Despite the mounting tension and panic withdrawals, the Bank of Ghana has again called for calm and given a firm assurance that the banking sector is in a better position, a view some stakeholders support. For now, despite opposing opinions on the approach of the regulator on the cleanup and questions raised about the level of supervision by the regulator, Ghanaians are waiting to see what becomes of their monies and the fate of the workers of the last 23 institutions. For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
And that's it for AM Business today, and indeed this week. We do this every Wednesday on the AM show. It's brought to us courtesy EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. So please do make a date next week, Wednesday, for another edition of AM Business. Coming up next here on the AM show is AM Talk. Our guest this morning is a former Minister for Lands, Natural Resources, Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Alhaji Inusaf Hussaini. He joins Roland Walker for a chat on many issues, including this stiffer punishment contained in the minerals law that was assented to by the president yesterday, given the punishments from between 15 and 25 years. All the conversations coming up here on the show. Please do stay with us.